Hersam Acorn newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. May 19th, the final day, May 19th, 2015, of Palindrome Week for this year. Don?
Very exciting, especially for the historical buffs and numerical nerds.
Math freaks
Yes.
and whatnot. John Kovach, joined by Donald Eng and Rob Adams, and a full crew behind the scenes as we bring you Coffee Break from the coffee room, believe it or not. We are live at our New Canaan office, the New Canaan Advertiser on VD Street, with all of this morning's news, traffic, weather, sports, etc., and a look at mental health and how it's being addressed here in New Canaan. First, Don, let's talk about the roads, which you and I both have firsthand experience with the misery
there
that was
some,
today.
there was a fair amount of soul-crushing traffic on the Parkway southbound today. That, for the most part, clearing up, though there are some residual delays still. Right now, we've got roadwork in Westport, Parkway South at exit 42 until 3 o'clock, the right lane closed. Also in Hartford, I-91 North at exit 29A until 3:13, according to the state, the right lane closed there.
Very precise.
And in Waterbury, Route 8 North until 3:57. Roadwork there at exit 36, the right lane closed. Yeah, they're getting very good with letting us know exactly when these things are going to be cleared up. As far as the weather goes, patchy fog and a chance of showers or thunderstorms throughout most of today, high around 77. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms clearing out after midnight, 53 for the low tomorrow, and really all the way through Sunday. Sunny with a high near 70, cool overnight and clear. Unfortunately, a little bit of showers in the forecast for Memorial Day, but there's still plenty of time for that forecast to be altered. Right now, it is a cloudy 58 degrees outside our New Canaan studio, 57 in Fairfield, 55 in Stratford. Coffee break time is 11:03.
Thanks, Don, and we'll have more traffic news for you tomorrow, with the announcement within the past hour that President Obama will attend a Democratic National Committee event in Stamford after he delivers the commencement address at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy in New London on Wednesday. The event in Stamford is closed to the press. Again, we will keep you apprised of street closures, etc., surrounding the president's Wednesday visit to Stamford.
A 44-year-old Shelton man has died after a hang gliding accident over the weekend. New York State Police said Scott Trueblood was hang gliding near State Route 52 overlook in Wawarsing when he struck the mountainside on Sunday. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Trueblood was a newly licensed pilot with the Ellenville Flight School, according to police. The cause of the accident is under investigation by New York State Police.
That's actually, Don, I'll jump in. It's right outside of Ellenville, New York. It's in Sullivan County. It's a beautiful overlook, but it's known for a lot of hang gliding in that area off 52. There's an overlook right there, so that's exactly where it is.
Sure, there's some very tricky crosswinds around the outcropping.
Absolutely. That's the site of right into the site of the old area of the commercials you guys will remember for the Nevele. Remember the hotel?
Yes.
Right there.
Don't do a thing. You can do that, too.
That's it.
In other news, a Bridgeport man was arrested in Norwalk Monday in connection with the death last year of his 5-month-old son. 22-year-old Jorge E. Chiclana of Manila Place in Bridgeport was charged with second-degree manslaughter and risk of injury to a minor, felony charges. He is being held on a $75,000 bond. An autopsy revealed that the infant had elevated alcohol content in his system after rescuers responded to a 911 call last May 16th at an apartment on Ely Avenue in Norwalk, reporting that the 5-month-old was not breathing. breathing, Czaplinski was taken into custody with the assistance of the U.S. Marshal Service Violent Fugitive Task Force at the Honey Spot Motor Inn in Stratford. Coffee break time's 11:07.
A Bridgeport man is facing 11 years in prison after a Superior Court jury found him guilty of breaking his 4-month-old daughter's arms and legs. 26-year-old Morris Wilkerson showed no emotion as the 6-member jury found him guilty after an hour and a half of deliberations Monday of third-degree assault and risk of injury to a minor. The jury found him not guilty of reckless endangerment. He is scheduled to be sentenced before Judge Maria Khan on June 24th. Wilkerson's wife, 25-year-old Stephanie Kearney, who was tried with him, was found not guilty on the same charges. In December of 2012, Wilkerson and Kearney took their daughter to the doctor after they noticed her leg was swollen, according to testimony at trial. An examination found the girl, in fact, had 2 broken legs and both arms also broken, as were 2 of her ribs. Both Wilkerson and Kearney testified they had no idea how their daughter got injured. Coffee break time, 11:07.
The continuing story of the hearing involving the possible termination of New Canaan Police Sergeant John Milligan for inappropriately having his ex-wife on his insurance plan now includes New Canaan's first selectman, Rob Malazzi III. One of Milligan's lawyers, Candace V. Fay, alleged that Malazzi may have been part of an organized effort among top town management to fire Milligan. In an interview with the New Canaan Advertiser, Fay claimed that Malazzi had reason to want Milligan expelled from the force for reasons other than the insurance issue. She said Milligan's position as head of the police union during contentious negotiations may have led Malazzi to go out of bounds and meet with other officers behind Milligan's back in an attempt to get them to soften their views about the contract. Her proof was that during negotiations, Malazzi had a meeting with New Canaan Police Officer Scott Romano in Ridgefield, which First Selectman Malazzi confirmed to Michael Katarivas of the New Canaan Advertiser. But Malazzi told Katarivas that there were extenuating circumstances. He said such conversations routinely happen during negotiations. That claim, Fay dismissed as ridiculous. Milligan's hearing was continued until May 29th after a 7-hour session last Wednesday. Milligan is on paid leave as the commission considers whether he should be terminated for having his ex-wife on his insurance plan after they divorced. Both sides agree she should not have been on the town's plan, and Milligan has offered to repay about $33,000 in premiums. You can follow this story and read more about it at ncadvertiser.com.
So if he had stolen, say, a car from the police department that was valued at $33,000, I'm wondering if he would have been fired for that, and if so, what exactly is the moral difference?
It's an interesting question, but I know that in his defense, they've been trying to say it was merely a paperwork mistake and that they were solely out to get him because he was president of the police union, and they were very, very heated contract negotiations.
Always are.
That they are, and then this came out, and the first selectman did confirm that he met with another officer in private in another town to discuss this and try to effect change at the top of the police union during those negotiations. Story that's not going anywhere, and you'll be able to follow it at ncadvertiser.com.
A couple more police items in the news, including a graduation.
Yeah, 33 new officers graduated Monday night from the Milford Police Academy. They will now head to work at various departments around the state.
So first off, getting into the academy for all the recruits is it's a grueling process. You have to do many tests, academic, physical, psychological.
Okay, not too much changed on the roads in the last few minutes. We've still got the road work on the Parkway southbound at exit 44. That's going on today until 3 o'clock with the right lane closed. In Hartford, road work 91 north at exit 29 until 3:13. The right lane closed there also. And the right lane also closed on Route 8 north at exit 36 until 3:57, according to the state. The right lane closed there also. The weather today, patchy fog and a chance of showers or thunderstorms throughout the day. Tomorrow, clear with highs right around 70. And again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, clear skies and temperatures right around 70 degrees, cooling off into the 50s on all of those nights. Hopefully, the rain in the forecast for Monday won't actually happen. Right now, it is 60 degrees and cloudy outside our New Canaan studios, 55 in Fairfield and 60 in Ridgefield. It's 11:11. Make a wish, and we'll be back with more Coffee Break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Coming up on 11:15 on this Tuesday, May 19th, you're watching Coffee Break live from the Coffee Break Room. At the New Canaan Advertiser, John Kovach with Rob Adams, Donald Eng. Don, what happened on this day in years past?
Hang on one second as I click. I thought we were going to go to the Waterbury story out of that, but that's okay. No. We're good here. The number of interesting things on this date in history. 1536, Anne Boleyn, second wife of England's King Henry VIII, beheaded on charges of adultery, high treason, incest, and in general, being an inconvenience to King Henry. 1780, a dark day in New England. Literally, a combination of thick smoke and heavy cloud cover causes complete darkness to fall on eastern Canada and across New England at 10:30 a.m. 1848, the Mexican-American War ends as Mexico ratifies the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that ends the war and gives the United States the states, what are now the states of California, Nevada, Utah, and parts of 4 other modern U.S. states. Those states, that area ceded to the U.S. for the grand total of $15 million. 1963, the New York Post Sunday magazine publishes Martin Luther King Jr.'s Letter from a Birmingham Jail. And in 1962, President John F. Kennedy had a birthday party at Madison Square Garden in New York. The highlight was this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
That, of course, Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy on this date, 1962. It is 11:16. That is your look back in history, and I'm Donald Eng.
Thank you, Don. Rob Adams joining us for sports, and you had a rivalry game, but it sounded like there might have been some fielding trouble yesterday at Meade Park in New Canaan.
Yeah, there were some problems, at least for the New Canaan Rams. I'd love to see them replay this game with better gloves on the hands of the Rams, as they committed 7 errors in a 6-1 loss to the Darien Blue Wave at Meade Park right here in New Canaan yesterday. Part of the story is sitting right over there, but he's off camera. Stephen Barston, 85 pitches. He went the distance, got the win, 1 run, earned 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. I mean, really, the 2 walks we could have done without that. That's a failure on his part. But since he's sitting right here, I can give him that kind of abuse.
Well, and his fielders apparently had the gloves by Calfel on there, non-stick models.
They did play really well. The Blue Wave broke it open, though, later on. They got 3 in the 7th to break open what had been a pretty close game, and it stayed close in part as I get ready to cue A.J. Simonowski with a big play in the 3rd inning. 2 out, 2-1, 3rd inning, and a line drive to right center field. This is going to find the gap, heading toward the 346 marker. On his horse to third, Lavasser. He'll round it. Here comes the throw from second. It's on the way. The tag. He is out.
What a play.
Wow.
What an outstanding play by Mike O'Malley to grab it, unleash a cannon to the plate, and DeMeglio tagged him as he was coming in. Great play. We stay 2-1. And from there, the Blue Wave ran away with the victory. 6-1, as I said, the final score yesterday at Meade Park. So for the Blue Wave, they improved to 15-1 on the year. In the FCAC, 15-3 overall. Mitch Hoffman and the Rams dropped to 14-4 and 13-3 in the conference. Obviously, no damage done in that regard, but for the Wave, it puts them in a better situation at the top of the FCAC standings going into the tournament next week. As for other games going on around the region, a fairly busy day. Danbury over Harding, 16-0. West Hill nipped Ludlow 4-3. Staples 6, Central 1. Norwalk knocked off Bassick 17-1. It was Trinity Catholic over St. Joe's 7-1. Stamford 5, Trumbull 4. Greenwich over McMahon 9-0. And Wilton beat Ward 5-4. By the way, quick note. Thanks to the nice people at the School of Rock here in New Canaan for allowing us to use a riser that we were able to set up. Gave our camera angles a little bit of a better view, as you saw by what A.J. Simonowski just queued up for us. From softball, winners were Danbury over Harding, 17-0. Greenwich beat McMahon 10-0. Stamford a 3-2 win over Trumbull. Staples 5, Central 4. Norwalk over Bassick 13-0. Ward nipped Wilton 3-2. Darien 9, New Canaan 0. St. Joe's 17, Trinity Catholic 0, and West Hill over Ludlow 5-0. A lot of shutouts there. In lacrosse, New Canaan with a win over Trinity Catholic 18-1 on the boys' side. New Milford beat Danbury by 3, 13-10. Trumbull 13, Pomperog 4. Ward bested Bethel 9-8. Girls lacrosse winners, Ludlow beat St. Joe's 19-6. New Canaan 18, West Hill 4, and Wilton over Newtown 15-3. Winners in boys tennis were New Canaan, Greenwich, Staples, McMahon, Ward, Ludlow, and Wilton. On the girls' side, it was New Canaan, Greenwich, McMahon, Ward, Ludlow, and Ridgefield and Wilton both with victories. Boys golf winners, Wilton, Greenwich, and Ridgefield. Girls golf, Greenwich gets a win. Finally, boys volleyball, Danbury beat Harding 3-0, Trumbull 3, New Canaan 2, and Ridgefield over Staples 3-1. We've got lacrosse tonight right here in New Canaan at Dunning Field as Fairfield Ward comes to town to take on the New Canaan Rams. So a busy sports day once again with sports. I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:21.
Thanks, Rob. We announced earlier that within the past hour, we received news that President Obama would be visiting Stanford on Wednesday. That is after he gives the commencement ceremony speech at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy in New London. Also making news from Washington is the Obama administration announcing plans to prohibit federal agencies from providing local police departments with certain types of military equipment, such as grenade launchers, high-caliber weapons, and bayonets, citing the controversy over a, quote, militarized, unquote, police response to unrest last summer in Ferguson, Missouri. The photo you're seeing now is Fairfield police using an armored vehicle to patrol and rescue people after Hurricane Sandy, that is down in the area that was uninhabitable for some time. The new prohibitions are part of an executive order by President Obama issued for federal agencies to review the types of equipment they provide local and state police. Police leaders have said the equipment will continue to be available to them via other channels.
So apparently the local police overruling the presidential order that to keep these weapons out of the hands of police. And I'm trying
circumnavigating, let's call it that.
I suppose if I had enough time, I could come up with a law enforcement scenario where it would be appropriate for the police to fix bayonets.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever heard of bayonets being used in a police situation, at least since the turn of the 20th century.
I was going to say since the 19th century or something. Speaking of equipment, though, the 2 revolver-style starters pistols were reported stolen from a track meet at New Canaan High School May 9th. The guns, which fire blanks, are valued at $125. My guess is they can be recovered without the use of bayonets.
I would have to think so.
Nope, I think they'll manage.
And I believe they are blanks only.
Yes, they fire only blanks. They sort of look like real guns, but they're not. They fire black powder blanks.
Because I remember the time I had trying to get blanks for them once when I was still coaching track. And
a friend of mine thought he was going to get dragged out of his car and tased because he was working with the Center Street Theater in Shelton.
Oh boy!
And he was heading down the road to Howe Avenue to see if the gun and outdoor store down there had blanks. So of course, being an idiot, he just tossed it on the seat next to him.
Of course he did.
And then proceeded to roll through a stop sign and get pulled over.
Of course he did.
And so yeah, he was smart. Starting at the moment he saw the red lights, he was smart and handled the situation well. He kind of called out. He said, "Wait a second, I have what looks like a gun on the seat next to me. How do you want to handle this so that no one gets hurt?"
Good move.
That was a very, very smart move. And after getting the story confirmed, everyone went on their way. Not even a ticket for the for the stop sign, but yes, starters pistols, not real guns.
Yeah, be careful with those. In fact, if you took those, be careful.
Yes,
with
in fact,
those.
if you have them and you took them from the track field,
return those and be careful. In other news, a Massachusetts educator has been named the new principal at St. Joseph's High School in Trumbull. He will replace the retiring Kenneth Mayo. Most Reverend Frank Caggiano, the bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Bridgeport, has appointed James P. Keene, Ph.D. of Medway, Massachusetts, as the next principal of St. Joseph's High. Mayo is retiring after 38 years of service. Keene is currently a vice principal of academic affairs at Catholic Memorial School in West Roxbury, Massachusetts. He has served there for 19 years. He will join the team at St. Joseph's on July 15th and will be moving to Connecticut with his wife Eileen and their children. School officials at St. Joe's in Trumbull plan a formal welcome for their new principal in September. Coffee break times 11:25.
St. Vincent's Health Services is expanding its services in Milford and held a grand opening of the new St. Vincent's Milford Health and Wellness Center Monday afternoon. Located at 199 Cherry Street in Milford Plaza, in what was once the Blockbuster Video location, the building houses St. Vincent's 6th urgent care clinic. Leaders from St. Vincent's and the city officially opened the clinic with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and blessing on Monday. The new urgent care clinic will be open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Individuals may walk in without an appointment or schedule a time online at planmycare.com. This is the third major expansion of St. Vincent's following January's opening of the St. Vincent's Health Check Clinic at Oronoque, located inside Stratford's Oronoque Pharmacy, and the opening of the Stratford Health and Wellness Center in February. Coffee break time is 11:25.
Came upon an item via Twitter just as we were coming on the air, and it's really interesting. In Fairfield, over the past few years, they've begun to expand efforts and begun to expand opportunities for bicyclists with the creation of bike paths, bike routes, etc. A lot of this when Democrat Kristen McCarthy-Vahey was on the Board of Selectmen. Well, now she's a state representative, and Representative Kristen McCarthy-Vahey is right now, as we speak, bicycling to Hartford to express her support for bikeable communities. Kind of wish she had a better day for it, but she seems to be enjoying it as I follow the journey on Twitter.
Being a public servant's a hard job. It's we appreciate it. Working for the people.
That's true.
And the metal visitors bleachers at Ridgefield High School's Tiger Hollow football facility are dangerously out of compliance with safety codes and must be replaced this summer, according to officials. John Pavian, president of Tiger Hollow Incorporated, and Carl Charles, the school's athletic director, told the Board of Education during a meeting Monday, May 11th, at Town Hall Annex that there are no fencing barriers to prevent people from falling off the back or sides, no barriers to prevent people from falling under the seating or risers, and no hand railings up the aisleways. There is also no access ramp for people in wheelchairs. The dangerous conditions at the complex are not confined to the visitors' bleachers. The stairs also are damaged. A Newtown man injured his foot coming down the stairs to the soccer field last October and filed a lawsuit against the town. The stairs will be replaced, but the athletic leaders did not need Board of Education money for that project. They did have their own funds. For the bleacher replacement, they found an immediate consensus of support among the board members and school officials, who will return to the topic in 2 weeks for a formal vote. The bleacher replacement could cost anywhere from $84,000 for 660 seats up to $99,000 for 820 seats, Pavian and Charles told the board. They want the school board to find the money for the project. The two also said they will use other money to perform a couple of $25,000 stair replacement jobs, which are needed. That money could possibly come from a $389,000, $413 account that the school is under budget. That's the forecast for the upcoming year, according to Lowe. Your coffee break time is 11:28.
We are going to step out for a couple of minutes. When we come back, we are going to talk about a new and revolutionary, I think, approach to mental health and wellness that's being tested right here in New Canaan, where we're coming to you from this morning. You're listening to and watching Coffee Break on the Hersam Acorn Network.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on the Hersam Acorn Network, hanradio.com, streaming live. John Kovach with Donald Eng, Rob Adams coming to you from our New Canaan office. And New Canaan's the site for this new resource at the library, Mental Health To-Go kits that can be checked out like a library book, and they've been designed by Silver Hill Hospital. Joining us by phone is Ellen Brzozowski, a licensed clinical social worker who joined Silver Hill as the Director of Community Relations about a year ago. Her role, Director of Community Relations, was created last year as a direct response to the needs identified in a community health needs assessment conducted by Silver Hill. Her role is to provide outreach to underserved populations, including youth, families, seniors, and minorities, as well as to partner with existing programs. Ellen, thank you very much for joining us on Coffee Break this morning. Am I pronouncing your last name properly, Brzozowski?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I understand that Silver Hill partnered with the New Canaan Library and the Southwestern Mental Health Board to create these to-go kits. What can you tell us about them and how they will help in dealing with mental illness?
Okay, the to-go kits, as you mentioned, were created to be checked out just like a library book. And because we see this as a really important resource to offer to the community, and they're sturdy cardboard boxes. They have 2 or 3 books, CDs, DVDs, and also the Southwest Regional Mental Health Board's resource guide in them. They also have some useful stress-reducing tools like a flash drive that has preloaded meditations on them that patrons can keep when they check out this to-go kit, and also additional resources that can be found at bookstores or online. There's actually 12 topics that are covered by these to-go kits, and 1 per kit. And the 12 topics are alcoholism, anxiety, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, chronic pain, depression, eating disorders, opioid addiction, schizophrenia, substance abuse, suicide ideation, and teen stress.
Why did Silver Hill work with the New Canaan Library and design these kits?
Well, as you mentioned in the introduction, in 2013, Silver Hill Hospital did a community health needs assessment, which can be found on our website at silverhillhospital.org. And it identified a need for really credible information about mental illness in the general community. And our vision, Silver Hill's vision, is to create and to educate members of the community about the nature and treatment of psychiatric disorders and addictions. And we really want to help provide timely information and provide support for families, and as well as loved ones who are affected. We really feel that education is the first step in remedying the absence of services. So the kits are meant for families, school administrators, and adolescents. And New Canaan Library is really the best place to reach the entire community. They're an excellent resource for the community, and we've partnered with them many times to bring programs to the community and to get information out about mental illness and addiction. So we found that there was really no better place to provide that service, and we absorbed all the costs associated with bringing those kits to New Canaan.
Now, the program, the Mental Health To-Go kits, were introduced by the library and Silver Hill as part of Mental Health Awareness Month. Do you think there's still a need for a month that puts a spotlight on mental illness?
Yes, unfortunately, mental illness continues to be misunderstood and stigmatized, and it's much more common than many people realize. About 1 in 4 adults are diagnosed each year, and 1 in 5 teenagers. The critical problem really is that many people don't get treatment. Only about 60% of adults do, and almost half of teens. So there really is a need to highlight the issue and to bring awareness to it.
Now, you had mentioned, I know it's in some of the background materials we have here, the stigma of mental illness, and it seems to me that one advantage of these to-go kits is that it sort of allows someone to get help they need, and it kind of removes the barrier maybe of the stigma. They can go to the library, they can get information without I'm trying, for lack of a better word, without it kind of being more like an official thing.
That you think people would be reluctant to go seek help?
Yeah,
and
I'm wording it badly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. I think that because they're just part of the regular shelves in the library and you can find them through the online catalog there, that people would be willing to go and do that. It's not something they have to be public about, but they could just go take it out just as they would any other book, and that might help them reach out then with the resources that are included in the to-go kit, and then be able to reach out to people to get the help they need.
I know from correspondence I've received from at least one person that just the use of the word stigma is seen by some as continuing the stigma or prolonging it. As somebody who's in the mental health field, why do you think these stigmas about mental illness persist?
I think that society still thinks of mental illness as something extreme. I think the way it's portrayed in the media sometimes, in films, television, it's something that's completely inaccurate, unfortunately, but it's the way it's portrayed. But really, the fact is that mental illness falls along a spectrum of severity and treatments, just like many other illnesses. And for most people, mental illness can be treated, just like any physical illness can. So, most people with mental illness are highly functional members of society, and especially those who are getting the help that they need. There are relatives, or friends, or coworkers, but I think that the images that are created out there don't give us that opportunity to see it just as any other illness.
And I think part of that is our fault, and by our fault I mean like we in the news media, because for a lot of people I think the only real exposure they have to mental illness is when a newsreader like us starts off a terrible story with, a man with a history of mental illness. Yeah. And I think that tends to kind of, stigmatize everyone, because the only time that it ever really becomes into the forefront of conversation is when we're talking about something terrible after the fact. And that was just sort of my thought on the matter, that we tend to paint with a broad brush, because that's really the only time it ever gets discussed.
Right. I agree with you. I think that's true.
What are the statistics like for those seeking treatment for mental illness around Fairfield County?
In general, the statistics are about the same, like that 1 in 4 and the 1 in 5 for teenagers. But there are some areas where Fairfield County is actually worse than the rest of the county. Substance abuse is a very big issue in Fairfield County, particularly alcohol, binge drinking, and opioid-based pain medication use is a close second. And suicide, unfortunately, is another area. The Southwest region has a higher rate of alcohol-related suicides than the rest of the state and in Connecticut. And in fact, in the first month of 2013, the first month of the school year, there were 3 teen suicides, 1 in Stamford, 1 in Stratford, and 1 in Greenwich. And in Greenwich, unfortunately, it was a 15-year-old boy who killed himself on the first day of school, allegedly after pressure from bullying. So mental health awareness really, it definitely merits our attention for all of these reasons.
Why is there so much stress around Fairfield County?
Fairfield County is parts of it are very upper-class community, and there's a lot of pressure to raise perfect children, to look perfect, to have the perfect home. We're also a very results-driven community, and I think people are under enormous stress to succeed, and the value that people place on succeeding, or what succeeding means, could be athletic achievement or getting into the right school, college. And I think social media has a place in that as well, and it's begun to show effects on people's self-esteem. So Fairfield County is a very high-stakes environment and translates into mental illness, substance abuse, anxiety, depression. And that's why, excuse me, we've developed these to-go kits to try to address some of these concerns.
So if someone's feeling depressed, they're feeling bullied, they're feeling pressured, they can go get one of these kits and it will allow them to pretty much anonymously find out what they can do in terms of seeking help, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The kits right now are a part of the Mental Health Awareness Month display at the New Canaan Library. But at the end of May, they will be shelved with all the other resources about each topic and become part of the permanent collection there.
Now, right now, they're only at the New Canaan Library?
Yes, that's correct. They are. We're piloting the launch of these mental health to-go kits at the New Canaan Library, and then we're hoping to expand that to other local libraries who've expressed interest in it. Our goal is really to eradicate the misunderstandings and stigma surrounding mental illness. So we're very committed, Silver Hill Hospital is very committed to educating the public about mental health and addiction and want to expand this program to other communities.
What would you say to somebody who might think they need a little bit of help to encourage them to go get the kit that might help them find the help they need?
I would say to them that educating themselves is probably the first step in trying to create some awareness about what they might be struggling with and going through. And I think the kits also give people a sense that they're not alone, that this is not something that's just happening to them, and that can also help them feel a little bit better. We'd also always advocate that someone go to talk to their general practitioner first if they're feeling like there's something that they're struggling with, that it's become greater than just something they can handle on their own. And then from there, using some of the resources also that are in those kits, there's lots of phone numbers supplied and other websites and additional resources in those kits that people can then look into to try to get themselves educated and aware of what's going on.
And these are for all ages. We've talked a lot about kids this morning, but these kits are suitable for all ages?
Absolutely. I would say from adolescents onward to adults. And then also in some of these kits, there are resources for parents who may be struggling with children, younger children who may be having some issues, but definitely 13 and above.
Okay, so for now, the Mental Health To-Go kits available only at the New Canaan Library. They're prepared by Silver Hill Hospital, but we're looking hopefully in the very near future at these being distributed to more libraries around the area?
That's correct. Yes, we're hoping to expand to most of the libraries in Lower Fairfield County as the time goes on.
That would be great. Let us know as that happens so we can let the public know that that help is out there and it's in a form that they can get as simple as checking out a library book.
Yes, we definitely will keep you posted.
Ellen Brasovsky, Director of Community Relations for Silver Hill Hospital, thank you for joining us on Coffee Break on HANradio.com, streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back with Rob Adams and another look at sports and more headlines, traffic, and weather.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com. Reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Mary Ann Hersam at 203-417-5199.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics at HANradio.com, streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. John Kovach, Donald Eng coming to you from New Canaan, where we'll be tonight for lacrosse. And with all the action tonight and all yesterday's action now, Rob Adams.
Thank you, John. It really was a coffee break just a moment ago. It was a break out of the room with the coffee in his hand.
That was Josh the Flash Fisher.
The Flash. That's a good way to put it. We did have baseball for you yesterday on HANradio.com. Stephen Barston pitched a complete game as Darien knocked off New Canaan 6-1 just down the road from where we are here in New Canaan. Outstanding performance by Barston as he went the distance, as I mentioned, to get the win. The Stanford High baseball team used a gritty complete game performance by senior left-hander James Gromberg and some clutch hitting to post a 5-4 victory over Trumbull on Monday night. Gromberg threw 132 pitches to earn the victory, tossing a scoreless seventh after Trumbull clawed to within a run with 3 in the sixth. I'm not a pitch count guy, so I kind of like that. 132 pitches. It is a lot, but I kind of like it.
It's a lot, but you have to. It's a case-by-case decision.
I agree.
I'm not a pitch count guy either. If he says he still has it, he still has it. But then being a Met fan, you look at Johan Santana, and was it worth cutting probably 2-3 at least years off his career to get the club's first no-hitter, and I don't know if it was.
No, I think Steven's arm is good to go. He could throw us another 50 more pitches. He's nodding, so we're good.
He's nodding his head. He's up. We're going with you.
Stanford is 10-8 overall, 8-8 in the FCAC. They had a 4-0 lead after 2 innings, scored all 5 of its runs with 2 outs to hand junior lefty Joe Nemchek. His first loss of the season, he drops to 4-1. Gromberg scattered 5 hits over 7 innings with 11 strikeouts and 3 walks. It's the strikeouts that run up the pitch count. That's all there is to it.
They're fascist.
They are fascist, which I used that yesterday, if you noticed. That's right. I used that during the broadcast yesterday. Bunnell High's Aaron Rios' sacrifice fly to deep center field brought Chris Lone home from third to give the Bulldogs a 2-1 10-inning victory over visiting Stratford High in an SWC showdown on Monday. Bunnell loaded the bases on a throwing error on Brian Valeriano's bunt and Adam Wojcinski's bunt single to the left side. Couldn't it just be Rob Adams? It's easier that way. Rios, who had tied the game with an RBI single in the bottom of the 6th, I'm kidding, of course, drove the ball to deep center to plate the winning run. Stratford had taken a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning. Leadoff hitter Megan Yarnowski had 2 hits and drove in a pair of runs with a double and a 5-run third, propelling the Bunnell High softball team to a 9-1 victory over cross-city rival Stratford on Monday night at DeLuca Field. The victory was the 7th of the season for the Bulldogs against 12 losses. Bunnell, of course, can qualify for the upcoming Class L state tournament with a win over Massac on Tuesday. Couple of extra notes because Bill Bloxham hands us all these good pieces of information in his reports that he passes along, and I'm always grateful. The Bunnell High School boys lacrosse fundraiser will take place. No, we can't use that one, actually. Notre Dame of Fairfield is looking to hire 2 assistant football coaches. Contact athletic director Rob Bleggy at rbleggy, that's BLEGGI, at notredame.org. The other one was outdated. Nothing wrong with it beyond that. Just wanted to pass that along. FCAC winners from yesterday, baseball. We told you about Darien with the win over New Canaan, Danbury, West Hill, Staples, Norwalk, Trinity Catholic, Stanford, Greenwich, Wilton, all with wins. Softball, Danbury, Greenwich, Stanford, Staples, Norwalk, Ward, Darien, St. Joe's, and West Hill, all with victories. We're here tonight in New Canaan for lacrosse as Fairfield Ward comes to town to take on the Rams. 7 o'clock tonight at Dunning Field, or Dunning Stadium. I heard it pronounced both ways. I don't know anymore.
Dunning Field because... And maybe they don't stick to that as much, but when they built this, and it was when I took over here at the Advertiser, it's back in 1997, those who were against that construction, that project, who were against the private-public partnership, they said that was going to open the doors to people just dumping money and building facilities on town property. The people who wanted them to continue to play at Stanley P. Meade Field, which was across South Avenue, that large open space, now occupied by a number of fields by Sachs Middle School.
It wasn't all that long ago that the press box still stood there.
It stood there for a long time. Stadium was the derogatory term for the project.
Dunning Coliseum.
It was. They may as well, because they want to build a stadium, and we play football on a field, and they're building a stadium, and I think there was this intent to create this image of opulence, and which it's really a
I'm
great
big
stadium,
on getting on the same page. Now, if you look at the schedule that New Canaan puts out on the CIAC website, it says Dunning Stadium.
Well, it is for all intents. I'm just telling you.
I get it.
A history
I get it.
Now that we built our beautiful field, we're going to tell you what it really is.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's
We got
Dunning
the
Field
field,
at Hawes Plaza to be exact,
Correct.
but it's Dunning Field. But I don't know. We're belaboring it. This could be a Nutmeg Sports topic. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:51.
By the way, I just want to throw a couple of sports notes at you.
Okay.
That I still have to write out, but Sunday night I was over at Vazzi's Four Seasons, the old Lidl's in Stratford.
Sure.
And the DeSantis McDougal chapter of the National Football Foundation held its annual scholarship dinner. Number of local football players received scholarships. More than a dozen kids, I think, were honored. In fact, Pete Tucci Sr. Received a Lifetime Achievement Award for his work as football coach at Central Catholic, at Norwalk High, still an assistant with the Bears now, and their head baseball coach. And Joe Delvecchia of St. Joe's, the coach of the year. All of the state champs received plaques, the state championship coaches from Fairfield County. So really a nice event. The money raised goes to scholarships for those who play football. It's an organization founded by General Douglas MacArthur after World War II.
And Coach Tucci still involved coaching the baseball program at Norwalk. I suspect we will see him next week as we get closer to championships and all. We might even see him by the end of this week.
We just might. And one of the funnier stories is he was saying that he was having a conversation with his son, Pete Tucci Jr., who's the founder of Tucci Lumber. And he said that his son kept, "You sure it's not baseball? Are you sure? You're sure they're not giving you this award for baseball?" And Pete Sr. said, "Well, Lou Marinelli called me about it. He's a football guy."
He is.
So with that, 11:52, we're a little bit late. Anything new on the roads, Don?
Just a couple of things. Right now, the Waterbury branch is reporting delays of about 25 minutes northbound due to a late connecting train. That, of course, that branch goes from Bridgeport up to Waterbury through the valley. There also was a minor accident on the westbound exit 6 ramp to I-84 in Danbury. Last report we got was that there were emergency crews on scene, but we haven't seen anything since then. Other than that, we just have road work on the Parkway, both directions now, right at exit 44 until 3 o'clock today. The right lane closed both ways. And also on Route 8, road work Shelton. Route 8 south at exit 12 until 3 o'clock. The right lane closed there. Checking the weather. Patchy fog, chance of showers or thunderstorms today. High around 73. That's a bit of a reduction from what they were calling for earlier. Chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight, clearing out after midnight, 53 for the low. Sunny tomorrow with a high of about 68. Clear in the 40s overnight and sunny and pleasant through Sunday, but chance of some showers in the forecast for Monday, Memorial Day. Right now, outside our New Canaan studio, it is 60 degrees, 62 in Ridgefield, 59 at our Shelton studio. Coffee break time, 11:54.
Well, Don, Weston's property tax rate will increase by 1.52% next year. After voters approved an adjusted school budget at a second referendum last Saturday, the Finance Board met yesterday and set the mill rate for 2015-16 at 28.67. That is a 1.52% increase from the current mill rate of 28.24. A mill is equal to $1 for every $1,000 of assessed property value. So if you're a taxpayer with a house assessed at $500,000, you will pay $14,335 in taxes next year. At the current mill rate, you're paying $14,120 in taxes. The total approved net 2015-16 budget in Weston, including town operating, school operating, capital, and debt service budgets, is $69.7 million, an overall increase of 2.13%.
The Maddow family has unveiled a new concept plan for its downtown Shelton site, which appears to have the full backing of Mayor Mark Loretti. The Maddows would give the city 21 feet of land on the Bridge Street side in return for the city giving it some property to the rear from where the post office public lot is now located. The city would then build a new section of Bridge Street connecting Howe and Coram Avenues, and some storefronts in the new Maddow development would be accessible from the new part of Bridge Street. This also would allow the Maddows to move a new structure farther back from Howe Avenue and widen that sidewalk. Joseph Maddow, who is an architect, showed some of the ideas to the Planning and Zoning Commission's Downtown Subcommittee last week. Maddow said the concept represents a new direction and was aided by a really good meeting with Loretti. That concept is still being finalized, but the Maddows could submit a formal application to the Zoning Commission for the development in June. Coffee break time, 11:56.
Don, the state of Connecticut has been awarded a $7 million federal grant to improve access to care for those seeking drug and alcohol treatment in the state. The announcement comes as Governor Daniel P. Malloy continues to advance his Second Chance Society initiatives, which he says are designed to reduce crime. Among other things, it redefines simple possession of drugs for personal use as a misdemeanor, which he said would better ensure that resources and tools are available to reintegrate those caught into society and help them lead productive lives. The proposals focus on treatment rather than prison for those with addiction. The State Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services will use the grant to support vouchers to pay for a range of community-based recovery support services targeting adults who have substance abuse disorders. The state will offer a choice of services through a certified provider network that includes traditional and non-traditional providers, including some that are faith-based, some that are peer-based. The grant will be distributed to Connecticut in $2.3 million allocations over each of the next 3 years. 11:57 on your coffee break. Don?
Yeah, something just came up on Twitter that I was actually not aware of. Fox CT is reporting that a transportation research group funded by some various transportation interests has found that Connecticut has the highest rural road fatality rate in the country. That's a surprise to me. A Washington, D.C. research group published the report yesterday. Connecticut ranked at the top of the list for rural fatality rates, 3.57 traffic fatalities per 100 million miles traveled. That number does not include interstates. The overall rate, including highways, was 0.059 fatalities per 100 million miles traveled. Massachusetts and Pennsylvania were the only other states in the Northeast listed in the top 20. Their rates a little bit less, 2.3 and 2.2 per 100 million miles. Connecticut, 3.5, so roughly 50% more dangerous Connecticut roads are than Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, at least the back roads, not so much the interstates. So, and Connecticut also was cited as 11th for having fully 1/4 of the rural roads in what the report considered poor condition. So
that just amazes me because you don't think of Connecticut, unfortunately, as being, and maybe it's where we are so close to the city, Rob Adams, as being all that rural.
Yeah, growing up, I was always told that, I lived in the country. So since I was always working down county in New York, the running joke was that the end of the earth was a couple of miles away, and Putnam County was beyond that.
Right. Well, the other thing that I think is interesting is that we tend to think of the interstates, as having like these crashes, but that's not where people are getting injured. That the majority of injuries happen on these back roads and side roads. The conventional wisdom is that speed kills. It's probably more accurate to say that speed differential is a.
I think that's fair.
Is a factor.
That is definitely a more accurate statement. Well, guys, I hate to break this to you.
Go ahead.
But I'm looking across the room, and it looks like we are out of coffee, which means we're going to have to wrap things up on our coffee break for this Tuesday, May 19th. We will be back tomorrow making a rare appearance from our Shelton studio before our big road trip to Two Roads on Thursday. Thanks to Don Eng, Rob Adams, the whole crew, and back. Too many to mention in the time I have. This is John Kovach. Thank you for watching and listening to Coffee Break on the Hersam Acorn Network.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersam Radio, on Facebook at Hersam Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersamacorn.com.
My live is now next. 5, 5, 5, 4, 3,